is arm day. If you're wondering why it's been a little bit since I've recorded a YouTube video, well, your answer is right here. Look at my head. First thing I did when I came home from college for spring break is go get a haircut. I told her not to take off too much, and well, she took off too much. So there's no way you can really hide a bad haircut, but I'm gonna do my best to. Before we get into this arm day, this is probably a horrible angle. Don't look at my hair. I'm gonna show you what I do for my pre-workout meal every single day. Then we're gonna just, you know, get after it, talk about some weird shit. Great day to have a great day. Okay, I'm gonna throw this on so I don't have to run my hands through my hair every 30 seconds. All right, problem fixed. You know it's still there, I know it's still there, but we can just pretend it's not there. This is what I eat literally every day. Super simple. If you don't have a food scale, invest in one. This is all you need. Oats, cream of rice, protein powder. I'm an idiot and I left all of my Legion protein powder at home, or by home I mean my frat house, also known as college. I'm rocking with this Pro Zero protein for today, unfortunately. And then the only other thing you're gonna need is your choice of frozen fruit and the microwave. You're gonna wanna start off by just throwing in 40 grams, also known as 1 serving of oats into the bowl. 45 grams, also known as 1 serving of cream of rice next. When you are thinking about your pre-workout meals, you wanna think about the timing before you actually hit your first working set. I usually eat my pre-workout meal like 30 to 40 minutes before I hit my first working set. So I don't want a lot of fats. I'll actually pop something up on the screen so you can just kind of have a little chart for you to reference, but we're gonna put some water in this. Here, I'll just show you. This is really simple. You take this and you throw it in there. So let's do that. Usually what I do for the most part is I'll just do 2 minutes, then I'll look at it, put it back in for 1 minute, then I'll put a little bit more water in it, and then I'll put it in for another minute, and then I stick it in the freezer really quickly. The pro tip to stick it in the freezer is because it's gonna cool it off quicker, and then you can, you know, eat it faster. But going back to fats, fats are gonna slow down your digestion. So you're probably thinking, well, why would I want my digestion to be slowed down? Why wouldn't I wanna just have like no fats before I go to the gym? Well, the problem is with that is you're not gonna have long lasting energy throughout the workout. So if you wanna feel good throughout the entire workout, you need to make sure that you have a little bit of fats. But if you're eating within 45 minutes of you hitting your first, you know, working set, then you don't need to have much fats. You still want to have a little bit, so I choose to usually do 5 grams or less. Okay, 2 minutes is done. Look at it. Yep, it's still pretty watery, so then I put it in for 1 more minute. And then after this minute's over with, I'll throw some more water in it, stir it, put it back in for another minute. Some of you are probably thinking, well, why don't you just do it for fucking 4 minutes and then have it finished with? And that's because you're an amateur at this and it will overflow if you do that. Instead, you need to be very meticulous with how you make this pre-workout meal. It requires careful attention and precision. Yep, we're chilling. Looks pretty good. All you wanna do is throw just a smidge of water in it, just like that. That's literally it. I know you're probably thinking like that was impossible for us to measure and replicate. Well, too bad, so sad. And then you take a spoon, stir it around a little bit. The thing with cream of rice is it gets pretty stuck and clumped together at the bottom. So just make sure you're at least stopping it once when you're making it, just to stir it around a little bit. Here, I'll actually give you all a close up on what it's supposed to look like. Okay, 1 more minute. And then it should be done. So these are the next steps. I do 3/4 of a scoop of this. So just under a full serving, which is 28.2 grams. I have OCD, so it needs to be right. In fact, pink salt. And then, wow, I really don't have much left in here, but okay, so I'm out of cinnamon. I found Chinese 5-spice, and it's the same color as cinnamon, so that's gotta be a good sign, right? And then right after this, give it a good little stir. Okay, now I can give you all this ASMR. Is that busted? I think that's busted. All right, right into the freezer. Put that bad boy away. And now it's time to make the greatest pre-workout drink of all time. I like to mix flavors, so we're rocking with Pulse Blueberry Lemonade, which is the pre-workout from Legion. I'm sponsored by them. You could use my code Lil Durk to save you 20% off your first total order. Then you get points off after that. And then the second flavor I'm rocking with is Arctic Blast. I don't know if you guys mix flavors, but I think this is what's known as addiction to pre-workouts and stimulants. So I like mixing things around. And then the last but not least, Performance Surge. It's a performance enhancer. So it just makes you feel a little bit stronger, have a little bit more endurance while you're in the gym. Top it off, throw it back into the freezer, and we good. Last but never least, throw in the blueberries. I do about between 70 and 80 grams usually, so there's 75.7. Okay, this is the finished product. So you can see, she's beautiful. Okay, so I'm doing a little bit of a dopamine detox right now, so I'll get into that a little bit later when I'm in the car to explain what that fully is, but this is the only time where I really watch TV while I eat, because I think it's really important to relax yourself before you go physically kill yourself. I'm gonna give you all one bite, everybody knows the rules type review. I eat this literally every day, so it's good. And I'll throw the final macros up on the screen so you can see everything that I'd used. And then usually what I'll do is I'll do either 1 or 2 35-calorie rice cakes on top of this. All right, I'll see y'all in the car. All right, let's get after it. Great day to have a great day. If you're wondering why I'm in different clothes than the ones you just saw me in, it's because it is a completely different day. Whatever I initially said for the date, scratch that. My computer took a shit and I lost an entire 3-hour workout. So that means that it's no longer arms. I have a decision to make between doing either legs, quad focus, or shoulders and core. And tomorrow, unfortunately, I'm forced to take a rest day. So I had a brilliant idea, which means we will just combine the two, and I'm going to hit quads and shoulders, and obviously skip abs. I went over this all yesterday, but I'm gonna say it again. I started doing a dopamine detox. Let me first off break down what actually dopamine is. The biggest misconception surrounding dopamine is that it's a feel-good drug, whatever gives you joy. For some people, that could be reading a book. For some people, that could be, you know, doom scrolling on TikTok. And for other people, that means cocaine. So it really kind of depends on the individual, but this is all wrong. Well, except for the cocaine part. That's a little bit accurate. Let me fix this up. Dopamine is just a drug of drive. It basically makes you want to do something. I'm trying to rewire my brain to enjoy doing hard things. And so the great thing with doing a dopamine reset is that once you reset your dopamine levels, or at least adjust your tolerance, you will really start to enjoy the hard work. Let me give you an example. If you're writing a research paper and you're a student, or let's say, you know, you really have to get an assignment done, it's hard for you to continuously work on something for long periods of time. So most people will take breaks, but when people take breaks, they do the wrong thing and they give their body the shot of dopamine in some form because their body is craving it. So if, you know, you're writing a research paper for 5 hours and then you immediately go and doom scroll on TikTok for 15 minutes because you need a break, doing that research paper is going to absolutely suck more than when you started. To fix this, if you want to adjust your dopamine level, all you have to do is just eliminate the BS things you do on breaks that give your body a lot of dopamine. At a certain point, my brain will crave being like, damn, this sucks. Let's watch an episode of Naruto instead. What I'll do is I will literally sit, and you guys will probably think I'm joking, but I will sit and stare at a wall for 5 continuous minutes. Your brain just gets so hungry for that dopamine that it, instead of craving Naruto, it now craves getting back to work, because even that little bit of enjoyment you did when you completed an assignment was so much more fulfilling than staring at a fucking wall. So you don't always have to just stare at a blank wall. You can also go out for a walk. The most important thing is that you're not on your phone. You are trying to deprive your body of that drive for doing something unproductive. And in this way, you can rewire your brain to actually enjoy doing hard work. As you can see, I found a hat, luckily. I'm kind of going for spicy white Channing Tatum look. I don't think I'm really pulling it off, to be honest. Big X the plug. I'm not driving in on my phone at the same time, don't worry.
Baker Young. We posted with pistols and rockets, ain't making deposits. We putting that shit out in the box.
It's funny, I have to only use like certain clips of me playing the music because YouTube will just copyright me. But for some reason, if I even use a smidge of a clip, all my viewers in Russia, which is like 0.001% of people that watch my YouTube videos, they can't see it for some reason. It gets copyright strikes. So if you're watching this in Russia, no, you're not. I hope this camera wasn't messed up the whole time. Sorry about that, y'all. Another reason that I'm hitting legs and shoulders at the same time is because my gym kind of sucks for legs and it also kind of sucks for shoulders. There's equipment in there from 1997, so kind of hard for me to have a really effective workout on either one of them. So I think splicing it together with just the best equipment that they have is gonna be the best workout for me. Let's get into this workout. All right. Starting off with legs, obviously, because it's the harder of the two. I'm gonna do 3 movements, all gonna be quad and slight glute focus, but mostly quad. We're skipping calves, don't even ask. The only way to properly do hack squats is to take them to failure every time. So just make sure you're killing yourself while you do these. Oh my God. So that's what a proper set looks like. Try to get a partial or two after I hit failure every time. As the reps get increasingly more difficult, I'm not speeding up the tempo. In fact, I even slowed down my cadence slightly. No cheat reps, no ego lifting. I'm gonna bump it up in weight because that was just cardio. The only part more annoying, the actual set, is this right here. We'll do 3 here because I'm only doing 3 exercises. And then every set's a failure, and then we'll move on. I'll show you all the next exercise. As the majority of you guys know, I have a torn ACL. Yesterday and a year ago, I tore my ACL for the 3rd time, and then 2 years before that I tore it again, and another year before that I tore it 1 more time. So I've torn my ACL 3 times, 3 years running. My last ACL tear I didn't get surgery for. These leg extensions are always very, very difficult on the ACL. They put a good amount of pain on them, but you can't have a leg day without leg extensions, or a quad day without leg extensions. So we're gonna do them anyways. Take these to failure, go heavy, 6 to 8 reps, and then I'll either do sissy squats, the superset, or I'll do a drop set, 2 sets here, and then we're moving on to the next exercise. And whenever you are doing a leg extension exercise, you should always actively be pulling yourself into that seat as tightly as possible so you can take out any lifting of your butt. Because when you lift your butt up, you slightly take the tension off of your quad and you use extra stabilizer muscles to help your body get the weight up. Instead, I'd much rather just fail and take my quads purely to failure because that's how you grow the most muscle. Usually I get a lot of front of the knee pain, but this time there wasn't really any. And if you're wondering how I'm still able to hit legs without an ACL, when you have your ACL, it's a ligament that's gonna keep your shin from moving too far forward when you're doing sports, or it's gonna help you when you make any cutting movements. So going side to side, diagonal, pivoting, twerking. As long as I keep my movements in the gym linear, i.e. forward, backwards, up, down, then you're solid, you're good to go, and you don't really need to get the reconstruction. We're done here. Also, if you're wondering why my legs actually look like they're filling out shorts for once, it's because I'm sponsored by Squid Hoss, and these are their new running shorts. I wear them in the gym because they're super tight, like just in the front. It makes your quads look a lot better. Like my quads are pumped, so when I flex them, it doesn't even look that good. But you can see just naturally how these hang is they make my quads just look a lot bigger than they actually are. So if you got chicken legs and you don't want them anymore and you don't want to put in work for them, or while you put in work for them and grow them, you want to look big in the process, follow Dirk. I actually did these 2 days ago because, damn, I don't have a good reason, but I did do these 2 days ago. We're still gonna take these 1 rep shy of failure because this doesn't have a catcher, so we really can't fail on these. Do or die mentality, I guess, is what I have going into this. It's also so hot I had to take off the pump cover. Yeah, 2 sets. I have absolutely no clue what the rep range is gonna be, but we're just gonna crush it. Make sure you use a lower narrow stance. Bias those quads. I wanted to go for 1 more, but I don't trust myself without a safety catcher. Whew. 1 more set here, then we're gonna move on. Shoulders. Why am I flexing my bicep? All right, we're gonna start off shoulders with side delts. A lot of people like to start with front delts, but in my opinion, front delts already get so much emphasis during your push days. The most underdeveloped part or delt for most people is your side or rear delts. So I'm working on just starting with these and hammering these out. Greatest exercise known to mankind. You guys have already seen my last vlog. If you want big shoulders, big delts, you gotta hit your lateral raises. So these are an absolute killer. Make sure you're doing partials with every set. Partials are gonna be so crucial in growing that side delt because that initial range of motion is where you get all the stimulus on your side delt. Once you get about past halfway, it's still gonna be a lot more traps because you're acting on gravity to bring the weight up. But yeah, 3 sets here because these are so good. And then I'm gonna move on to a front delt exercise. Whew. Okay, so this area is really tight. So this is the angle y'all get in, but basically we're gonna do this machine. It's my favorite one here. Simple. 3 sets, let's get after it.
Oh, all right, just a failure first set. Sets 2 and 3, I'm gonna drop set, make them a little bit more intense. One more exercise. My barber genuinely fucked me up so bad. Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't even put product in this. It's so short. Like, this is the worst. Oh my gosh. I can't do backwards caps my whole life. I've only got one hat, and this is the one hat. I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like guys' haircuts, you get a haircut and then you hate it for a week, and then after it sits for a week, it looks fine. But that first week is absolute torture. Maybe this is just hashtag white boy problems, because I know some of my boys that have, you know, they got waves, they look good fresh out the shop, but it's tough over here, man. I don't know what to say. I heard somebody say the other day that comparison is the thief of joy, because they were referencing their body dysmorphia. And I can see how most people would think that, but I honestly think that that's bullshit. Comparisons are actually very, very helpful and can be beneficial in a lot of situations. Emotions surrounding comparisons are what can make them the thief of joy, if you know what I mean. So necessarily being like, oh, that dude's bigger than me, that comparison, comparing him to me, that's not a bad thing. In fact, that could be very motivating, but something that can make comparison seem like the thief of joy would be me saying, that dude's bigger than me, therefore I don't work hard and I look like shit. Just if you're somebody who's struggling with body dysmorphia, like how I have been struggling with body dysmorphia all my life, then you have to realize if your mental health gets to the point where you're comparing yourself to other people and you actively think that you're worse than them because you're smaller, because you're not as defined, because you haven't been lifting for as long as them, all these things, these are the negative connotations you place on comparisons that can make your mental health become very, very toxic. What you want to do to rewire your brain to help your body dysmorphia is remember where you came from. Remember how long it's been since you started working out. Remember where you used to be and where you are now. And if you think you used to look better than where you are now, then you literally have evidence that you can get to that point because you've been there before. So all you need to do is work to get back to it. You need to put the steps in motion, get there, because you know that you've been there before, so therefore just get there again. And I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but it is gonna be simple. I'm gonna be honest, body dysmorphia only gets worse the more you progress in the gym. I thought, you know, if I got a lot bigger, then my body dysmorphia would get better. That, in actuality, is definitely not the case. It gets a lot worse. You start noticing the little things, and you start getting finicky about yourself because you're putting in so much effort, and you're not necessarily seeing the exact results that you want. I have fixed my body dysmorphia a lot. For somebody who's on social media currently going through a bulk, I feel fat as shit. I know you guys don't think so, but I feel a lot bigger than what I used to. It's a long process, so it's important to fix your body dysmorphia as early as possible, or at least be aware of it so you can catch yourself once you start actively making those negative connotations associated with it. So, hope that helps some of you. That's my rant for today. Set 2 and 3. Hitting shoulders after legs is absolutely brutal. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go to the next exercise and we out of here. Okay, I forgot how bad all the rear delt machines are at this gym. I don't feel like using a free weight, so we're just gonna hammer out side delts one more time. 2 sets here, take these to failure. I'm absolutely torched from legs anyways. So just gonna do a lot of intensity, finish up these 2 sets, and we good. We outie. All right, quads and shoulders accomplished.
I'm so clean, my bitch, it's so lean.
All right, anybody that, you know, watches all the way through these videos and listens to me yap on about random shit, I really appreciate you for following this. I had a great workout. I would say the pump was honestly a 10 out of 10 because I actually finished legs. Doesn't happen that much. If you want to follow that workout, it went 3 sets of hack squats, 2 sets of leg extensions, and then final 2 sets of leg press. Moving on to shoulders, I did 3 sets of dumbbell lateral raises, 2 sets of shoulder press machine, and then an additional 2 sets of shoulder lateral raise machine. If you want to copy the exact same workout, make sure you're throwing in some past failure techniques just to keep the intensity high. Instead of asking for you to, you know, subscribe, like, share, follow, all of that, instead I asked for you to do one thing for me. Send this video to the person you dislike the least or the most. Shit. Send this person to somebody you really don't like. That way they're just confused why you hit them up out of the blue, and then they watch through the entire thing and then are like, finally get to the very end and are like, oh, that's why he sent this to me. If you could do that for me, if you could share this with somebody you don't like, I'd really appreciate that. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Get huge, eat your protein. We out of here.